Well, as Pat just outlined, President Trump's legal team is joining a Supreme Court bid by Texas to overturn the presidential election. Attorneys general and 18 other states are taking part. The suit charges that officials in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia changed election procedures, something they argue only state legislatures are allowed to do.
This is the most significant of the cases filed, and it's the most significant because it is, as Jordan just said, completely outcome determinative. What does that mean? It means that if the court were to rule in favor of Texas, those four states, the states named in the complaint, would in fact have their state legislatures determine the outcome. They would pick the electors.
Now, several things would have to happen for the case to succeed. If the court decides indeed to hear the case, the justices would have to first block certification of the Electoral College vote, then determine that massive amounts of votes are illegal, and tell the states to retally and resubmit their votes. The court also could let every state legislature decide who won and then put the election in the hands of the House of Representatives.
In a state-on-state suit, our only place to go is the U.S. Supreme Court. We can't be heard anywhere else. Other lawsuits start at a district court level, and they have a right to be heard at least once, whether they have a good case or a bad case. So our request is we want to be heard. The only place we can go is the U.S. Supreme Court, and so we're pleading with the U.S. Supreme Court. Please hear our case. Give us a chance at least to argue what we think is right. We want to argue the Constitution.
Well, basically, Texas is asking if the states have not certified their electoral results yet, they're asking the Supreme Court to order those states to conduct a new election. And if the states have already certified their electoral results, they're asking the Supreme Court to order those states to have the state legislature appoint the electors, regardless of the election outcome. So it would certainly have a very dramatic impact, a very drastic impact, and frankly could overturn the results of the elections in these four states during this past election cycle. So it's a big ask and one that I think the Supreme Court is very unlikely to grant.
Now, the four states being challenged have until 3 o'clock this afternoon to respond to the Texas suit. And Pat, President Trump has asked, as you said, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas to represent him before the court.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it will certainly be there, but we've been looking for a miracle. And I do not believe, frankly, that if you got 18 states coming before the Supreme Court and a man like Ted Cruz arguing that the Supreme Court is just going to brush it aside. If it was one state, they'd say, well, we're not going to overturn the election. But these are major fraudulent cases in these 5 states. And if their votes are nullified, which would happen, and then I don't think they can possibly say, well, you've got to have another election. It just can't take place in time. So the thing would then go into the House of Representatives, and you would have each state voting as a unit, not 100 votes, 20 votes, but 1 vote per state. And the Republicans control a majority of the states.